I have to say there are definitely seasons in my life where I found prayer really difficult. Things just pick up, like schoolwork or just other pressures that build up in life. And by the time Sunday hits, by the time I've reflected, prayer just hasn't been a priority. So today I'm going to share with you 5 things that I've done in my life that will hopefully help you get your prayer life back on track. First thing is to be resourceful for when you pray. Now, I used to think you could only pray if you were in a certain position, like kneeling down by your bed, in like the hand position of when you pray, eyes closed with 0 sound. But actually that limits the opportunity of when to pray. Don't let the surroundings dictate when and how you pray. Something that I've been doing is when I get off the tube or when I go to one destination to another is I leave my AirPods in. I actually pretend that I'm just like having a phone call and I just pray out loud. And at first it felt really weird and awkward, but actually it's great because it is just a conversation with God. So you, as you are going from one place to another, maybe to work, or even if you're waiting in line for food, you can be praying. Second thing to do, very simply, is to schedule when you pray. In my schedule, before I wake up and before I go to sleep, I have a time slot where I just pray. And at the moment, I have actually finally mastered, as soon as I wake up, before I grab my phone, before I look at anything or even think something, I pray to God, and I've been able to do so without falling back to sleep. You might schedule time for work or when you go meet a friend, and you do that because you don't want to forget that appointment that you've made, and it's to remind you that you've got this commitment. So pick a slot in the day or throughout the day where you can just have moments where you can pray to God. Even better, tell someone about it, because what will help is you've got accountability for someone to check up on you to see if you've actually set this time aside and you've kept to it. This moves nicely to our third point, where you can get a prayer partner. Now, I don't know if you have had a prayer partner before, but they are definitely incredibly encouraging. There will be people, if you're part of a church or a community of some sort, that people would love to pray with you regularly. If you can find someone that you trust and that you can meet regularly, this will be great, because if you're struggling at the moment on your own, there'll be a community around you who will love to be able to support you, and it will build on your personal prayer life as well. Number 4, be creative in prayer. Now, I do have to admit that prayer can sometimes feel a bit stale if you are praying about the same thing over and over again, if you've got the same format, and you're just wondering if something can change and be a little bit different. For me, I usually do pray about things for myself and also people around me, but I always wonder if I could develop my prayer life better by praying for things that are beyond what I see. And there are loads and loads of resources online that I've been able to use over my few years of being a Christian, and that you can use as well. A few that I have found really useful is the Lectio 365 app by 24/7 Prayer, the Daily Bread app, which I think is incredible as well. Also, the Daily Office. Something that I have done every so often is do morning prayer online, and I just listen to someone who's leading through morning prayer. And that is kind of someone who's reading scripture, who does intercessory prayer. And there's just moments to reflect, which I really like because it's someone else leading and it goes beyond just what I see in my life. So there's loads of resources online, and even friends of yours that will probably do different types of prayer. Get plugged in on those, and it will just really help encounter God in a different way. And finally, number 5 is waiting on the Lord. Now, this is actually really difficult because there are many times where I sit and I wait on God to say something back after I've prayed, and I get nothing, or I feel like I get nothing. And that's because I just don't have the attention and the motivation just to sit still and just wait. But prayer is a dialogue. Like, we speak, God speaks. The problem is most of us are doing prayers like monologue. Like when we do rush out of the door prayers. Lord, bless my day. Lord, would you show me your will? Lord, would you guide me? And we're already out of the door as we've prayed it. We aren't waiting enough. We aren't still enough for God to speak. So my challenge on this last point is there are 24 hours in the day. Could you spend 24 minutes with God in prayer? I hope this video was somewhat helpful. It's just some things that I found really beneficial for me and my walk and journey in prayer with God. It'd be great for you guys to write down below if you have some tips that other people might be able to read. The most important thing is that it happens, to be honest, and just keep it going. If you've enjoyed this video, do consider subscribing because I plan to post videos like this every week. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.